Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, and we are back with another thread. Today we're talking about cards who have been denied parole. Frequently, Konami will release a new set of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are obviously designed to work around powerhouses of the past, and then they'll refuse to unhit those powerhouses, or bring over a card from the OCG, or generally just print the card that fixes the archetype. Today I want to talk about those and the decks that could have been, but for their absence. And I'll begin with this one, Heavymetalfoes Electrumite. I used to be all the way in on the anti-Electrumite train, and I'll admit it's because of the FTKs this card enabled. But in the year of our Lord 2026, they're just not feasible. And more importantly, this card reads as if it was designed for the new Power Patron monsters. These powerful cards have effects that trigger when they are added to the extra deck face up. Don't have to be destroyed, can be sent from anywhere, including via the effect of Heavymetalfoes Electrumite. This would be a great way to get a plus infinity in a deck that desperately needs a power play, and unfortunately, they just don't have it. Why didn't they bring it off? I could not tell you. Anyway, let's see what you all came up with. Adam's got one of the best answers. M-X-Saber Invoker should have been brought off about a dozen times at this point. So this rank 3 can summon a level 4 Earth Warrior or Beast Warrior from your deck in defense position. This was admittedly a very powerful effect for the time, and was used for some truly heinous things during all those formats where we were just making Firewall Dragon over and over. But these days, there are a lot of decks that would really appreciate this effect. I thought this card was going to come off when the Argo Stars got popular, and that's because this is one of the better cards in that archetype. It's also a mechanism by which they can play generic rank 3 tools in order to have a starter. But the obvious time to unban it was when the legendary Modern decks came out. Recall that it's not only a Sky Striker and Mitsurugi set, there's an entire X-Saber deck in there with new support. This card would be perfect to include in that set, and instead they just didn't move it. He's still in limbo. He's legal in Master Duel, he's legal in the OCG, he's doing dick fuck nothing in any of them. Bring my boy back. Yeah, this one's really strange. So Knightmare Mermaid is a Link 1, which already makes it suspect for never coming off the ban list in a trillion years. Pretty much every Link 1 is heinous in some way or another, but Knightmare Mermaid is heinous for a pretty reasonable reason. This card can summon a pair of monsters that are both pretty powerful, but one of which is an Orchist. When we got a second wave of Orchist support a couple of months back, I think everyone just expected that this would be released. And in Master Duel, it was. This card was generally not more powerful than other things you could do with generic Link tools. The Orchists have locks on them, there's really only so far you can go. It was a welcome piece of consistency for an archetype that admittedly didn't really need it, but for some reason it just stayed banned. And the card's legal in other formats, doing nothing there. Oh, I should mention this card is banned in Duel Links, I believe. So, you know, there's one place at least where it's also too powerful. Lightshaver Constellation has probably the rightest answer in the thread. Simorgh, Bird of Sovereignty is a Link 3 that lets you summon a winged beast from the deck at end step. Has 2 clear best targets. At the time, it was Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds and Apex Avion. Bans it over Barrier Statue, correct. Eventually, they finally excise the problem and ban Barrier Statue. Since then, they've banned like almost all of them. Only strong generic target left is Apex Avian, which puts it on par with any extra deck Omni. Well, any extra deck Omni, sort of, because you can only get it at the end phase, which means it does nothing going second. Doubly does nothing going second because it can only summon up to the number of blank back row on the field, and Avion's a 7. We still get no Miss Valley support despite it being banned and DT support since. I can't believe this card is banned. I can't believe how many wind archetypes have come out since. I thought that they would move this from the ban list when the new Tri Brigades came out. I was like, oh, new Tris are coming out. They obviously want one of the best Tri-type monsters in the extra deck to return, and then they just didn't. They were like, fuck you, actually. Ugh, a perfect answer. Borreload Savage Dragon is legal a lot of places, and in all of those places, it's completely fine. I'll be the first to admit this is a powerful card. There's a ton of decks that find his summoning condition totally trivial. They have access to generic rank 8s, and they can easily get through a Link or 2 on their way there. However, one of the reasons this card matters is because there was new rocket support in Burst Protocol. That rocket support functionally demands the legality of this card. Like, it absolutely needs the ability to summon a monster that is equipped to Borreload Savage Dragon without removing the ability for Borreload Savage Dragon to perform a negate. They've got like 6 cards that do it, and he's banned. He's still banned to this day. This one I feel like they are caught between a rock and a hard place, but absolutely correct. The several Speedroid support waves that have come out basically demand a generic level 10 wind synchro that does something. And in Master Duel, of course, they have Baronne de Fleur, but in the TCG, she is banned. The problem here is this card is too good. It's quite strong. It's super available for a number of decks, but Speedroid desperately needs it. I think, like the Bird Princess says, it's probably correct that they shouldn't unban this and give Speedroid this tool back. They should just print Baron, but she's playing with a Speedroid, and you need a Speedroid tuner to make it work. Banger ass, baller ass answer. Majespecter Unicorn Kirin is unbanned now, but the Majespecter's got a second wave of support, I want to say maybe a year and a half back. And in it, there was an Xyz that allowed you to summon a level 6 or lower wind pendulum from your deck. Now, there were only 2 level 6 wind pendulums at the time that qualified for this summoning condition. Oaf Dragon Magician, which does nothing on field functionally, and Kirin, a crazy powerful endboard piece. Also a Majespecter. One problem, this card was banned. So we thought when the cards came out, the ban list that was coming around the same time would put this card to 1 so you could actually play the new support. And then they just didn't. It took another ban list 6 months later to do it, by which point everyone had forgotten about the new Majespecter stuff. With the new Unchained cards coming to the OCG this month, surely the new ban list next Monday will unlimit Sharvara, right? Nope, still gonna be at 2. Now hold your horses, we've still got at least a little bit of time before the sexy version of Sharvara makes it stateside. By that point, I imagine the sexier version of Sharvara will be at 3. But boy, would it be funny if it wasn't. This card's been on semi-watch for a while. Why are all the cards that are semi? This is totally unnecessary. This is such a good answer, man. You may disagree, especially if you have red Misk. Miscellaneousaurus allows your dinosaurs to dodge things that would affect your dinosaurs. I'll freely admit that's an irritating effect to play against. But when the GMX cards were released, it looked like it was finally time for Misk to come to 3. That's an archetype that desperately needs dinos with effects in the graveyard that don't necessarily have to be destroyed. You get so many new combos off the back of multiple Miscellaneousaurus. You get follow-up. Like they say, there's grind game implications, but instead, they just didn't. And GMX has done fucking nothing. I thought for sure the A to Z legacy support was signaling an errata and unban of Union Carrier. Okay, see, this is an interesting take on the prompt because in no fucking world can Union Carrier be unbanned. But it's obviously an ABC support card. It's designed, like it has the Union hanger on its little treads. It would have been a perfect time to release this card with an errata that says it only works with Union monsters. Equip a Union from your deck instead of equip any fucking monster, including the ones that floodgate your opponent. I don't know. That's a wonderful answer. Yeah. This one's amazing. It's a little bit of a story. Hero Strike was the structure deck that included the hero cards. When it was imported to the TCG, we were excited because Stratos was in the OCG build of the deck, and we thought that forecast that it would be unlimited here. I'll be honest, Stratos could have come back a number of formats before it actually came back, but the memory of this thing was enough to keep it behind bars. In the TCG, when they released the deck, they replaced him with Homunculus the Alchemic Being. You remember this card? Homunculus the Alchemic Being? His attribute changes. He's a plant. The goal of this thread is not only to point out some of the frustrating things that Konami have done with respect to the ban list, but also to inform them that some of these things are still on there. I honestly think we have a pretty good shot of removing a significant amount of these cards from the ban list just by virtue of a Konami employee watching and going, shit, we forgot to take that one off. I was certain Harp Horror was coming back when Orchest kept randomly getting support cards and reprints. What? Harp Horror is back.